You're saying so if I had standards that it wouldn't have happened to me?
Maybe you would have seen some red flags, and maybe you would have analyzed why he left you without saying anything, and you wouldn't have ever been with a man that would disrespect you like that. Women's status is actually measured by being able to say no and hold those standards.
I think you're making yourself look like a joke.
Okay, you want to explain why?
Because you're just sounding f***ing stupid. You're talking about shit you don't know.
Okay, stop calling me stupid and stop saying I'm making myself look like a joke and back it up with facts right now.
Didn't you say you respected yourself but then had one night stands?
Yeah, that was me when I was an 18-year-old
It's not respecting
girl.
yourself.
That was me when I was an 18-year-old girl, and people
It's being a garden tool girl.
You don't have to be so negative. I'm just saying you can learn from this, and maybe if you actually listen to her and how she holds standards, your ex-boyfriend or husband, whatever the fuck he was, wouldn't have stolen your money, and you wouldn't have been left with no explanation.
So you're telling me, so if you start off a relationship with someone where they're completely normal and then they flip a switch, that's my fault?
Respectfully, I really doubt that they were normal. I think that red flags were probably missed, and that you were probably blinded by love, like both of you.
Okay, what are y'all thoughts on what she had to say? Listen, so basically what she was saying is, look, there were a certain set of things that happened to you in your relationship, and you were blinded by love, possibly, and you didn't pay attention to those red flags because of that. I mean, that is something that definitely happens. And, you know, you saw the red flags, but you ignored them because you wanted it to work. And then the man took advantage of you and left you, and then now you're bitter and you're pissed about it. So I think there's some truth to what she's saying, but the other woman didn't want to hear it because, you know, hit dogs holler. Let's be honest. When it's real and you're not ready to accept it or accept it coming from somebody else, you're going to start trying to shame people and you get pissed about it. Instead of saying, you know what, you might be right. You might be right. This is how you know people who are not fully over certain situations, or they're still dealing with it and they haven't gotten past it. Because once you've gotten past something and you've learned from it, it don't hit you the same way. You can accept it for what it is or not and keep it moving. It wouldn't make you mad. But when people start shaming the other person for saying something, oh my God, they're triggered because they know it's the truth. And so what she was saying, well, look, there were certain red flags in your relationship that you missed, or you didn't pay attention to, you were not privy to. And this is why the man ended up dissing you or treating you badly and taking advantage of you, stealing your money and leaving you. Now, in hindsight, looking at a situation like that, I mean, if you are mentally sane, you could say, you know what, you're right. I was blinded and I didn't see the red flags, or I saw them and I ignored them because I thought maybe because I wanted the relationship so badly and I didn't want to give it up and until he left me. Then that would be you taking accountability on your part and accepting the reality of the situation and moving on. But when you don't want to do that, you're delusional. You don't want to take any accountability whatsoever in your part of it. You just want to constantly blame him and get sympathy points from other individuals. That's when you become unaccountable for your part, and you just want you constantly want people to feel sorry for you. And that's a common theme with a lot of women. You know, it's nothing wrong with being accountable. It doesn't make you less of a person. It makes you even more human, in my opinion, because you're being realistic and you're accepting it for what it is, that you played a part. Yeah, you ignored the red flags because you were in love, but he wasn't in love. He was in like. And you kind of had an inkling that he was up to no good, but you liked him so much, you just gave him the benefit of the doubt. Why not? What's wrong with being real about the situation? Why do so many people want to be in denial and always want a pity party? Why do you always need somebody to validate your feelings as opposed to being honest about the situation? Because it only makes you better. And it makes you aware of what you're doing so you won't do it again. But a lot of these women keep picking wrong, keep doing the same thing over and over and over, but you want a different outcome. So you pick the same type of guys, you attract to the same type of dudes, you allow the same type of behavior, but you somehow think that you're going to get a better result out of it. That's what you call insanity. And I think that's what the young woman was trying to convey, but she was being shamed and met with, insults And that's the typical thing that women do when they're in denial and you don't want to hear the truth. The girl saying, hey, take some accountability, goddammit. Accept the fact that you picked wrong and you missed the red flags because you wanted to miss them. But instead you want her to say, oh my God, yeah, he did you dirty. Oh my God, he was such a horrible creature and he should have never done that. How you going to tell a low down dirty dog to not be a low down dirty dog? How you going to convince him to do that? And why do women like to want to portray this idea that, oh, you know, every man that you was with, every man that you dated was, oh, he was so nice in the beginning. Now, it could happen now. It does exist. I want to make that clear. But every man that you date, so that means you keep picking the same type of dudes. You keep picking the same type of dudes. So every one of the dudes that you pick, that you are attracted to, he's so sweet and nice. Date 1, date 2, date 3, and all of a sudden, boom, he just flip on you and change and turn to this ugly monster. And there was no red flags or anything, any indications in there to let you know that this person might be a little bit cuckoo. There was nothing. So there was no red flags. There was nothing that he ever did to make you think this with every person that you've dated. Why don't you go get some therapy or try to figure out how and why you keep attracting these types of guys if that's the case? Every man that you've ever picked was an abuser. He was a narcissist. He was this, he was that, and the third. In the beginning, he's so sweet. He was that way for 1 year. Then he just flipped up. After you gave him a baby, he just turned into a hellion, or just all of a sudden just turn. No, that is not typical. Now, can it happen? Sure. But is it the common thing? No, I don't think so. There were red flags there. You just attracted to that type. You're attracted to that type of person. Get your mental together so that you can vet properly and not jump into something just to turn around and complain about it. It's almost as if you want to complain, like you want to have these experiences so you can be the victim. You a victim. That's what it seems like a lot of them want. Like you want to be victims, perpetual victims. So you can have something to constantly complain about to push this narrative that, oh, this is just all men. When in actuality, you just keep picking the same type of guy. And you don't want to acknowledge that. So that has to change. If you want a different result, do something different. Don't keep going after oh, that's my type. I got to have my type. Well, you got to have those horrible outcomes. Then you're going to have the outcomes all the time. And if that's what you want, stop complaining about it. Because it's getting old and everybody sees it. It's like we see the narrative being pushed over and over and over and over till now it's old news. Everybody know what you're going to say. All the guys you with were horrible. They were abusers, narcissists, and it's the same old talking points. So now it's getting old. Nobody believes y'all anymore because y'all just echoing the same old story over and over, and you want people to constantly believe you. And because you want to be perpetual victims. Well, people are tired of that, and nobody wants to hear that. And this is why men don't take y'all seriously, because of that very narrative that y'all keep pushing, looking for sympathy, and is only holding you back. So listen, I want to know your thoughts on this one. Make sure you chime in the comments. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, y'all. If you like the content, share the video, like the video, turn on that notification bell. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.